What if the sun suddenly disappeared? Imagine stepping outside on what seems like a perfectly ordinary day. The sky is clear, the air feels warm, people are driving to work, children are playing, everything feels completely normal. Then, without warning, the sun disappears. Not an explosion, not an eclipse, it simply vanishes. At first, nothing changes. For about 8 minutes and 20 seconds, life continues exactly as before. Why? Because sunlight doesn't reach Earth instantly. Light takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the sun to our planet. So even though the sun is already gone, its last rays are still racing toward us at the speed of light. No one knows what's coming. People laugh, planes continue flying, ships cross the oceans, cities remain full of life. Then, exactly 8 minutes and 20 seconds later, day becomes night. Instantly, the bright blue sky disappears. Darkness sweeps across the planet faster than anything humanity has ever witnessed. The moon no longer shines. Because the moon has no light of its own, it only reflects sunlight. The planets disappear, the clouds vanish into the darkness. For the first time in human history, Earth is surrounded by almost complete blackness. Millions of people stop and look up. Some believe it's the end of the world. Others think it's a massive power outage. Governments rush to find answers. Scientists stare at their instruments in disbelief. Around the globe, confusion spreads within minutes. Social media explodes with questions. News channels interrupt every broadcast. No one knows what has happened. But the terrifying truth is only beginning to reveal itself. Because without the sun, Earth isn't just losing its light, it's about to lose its heat. And in the coming hours, our entire world will begin to freeze. As darkness spreads across the planet, panic begins almost immediately. Millions of people rush outside, staring at the sky in complete disbelief. For the first time in human history, there is no sunrise waiting on the horizon. The sun is simply gone. Within minutes, governments declare global emergencies. Airports scramble to guide thousands of airplanes already in the sky. Power stations prepare for an enormous surge in electricity demand as billions of people switch on lights at the same time. Scientists across the world begin checking every telescope, every satellite, and every observatory. They all reach the same terrifying conclusion. The sun has completely disappeared. At first, the temperature doesn't change very much. The atmosphere still holds the heat collected throughout the day. Most people wouldn't even notice the difference during the first few hours. But as time passes, the warmth trapped near Earth's surface slowly begins to escape into space. Unlike light, heat cannot be replaced. Every minute that passes makes the planet a little colder. By the end of the first day, the average global temperature would drop to around 0 degrees Celsius, or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. For many regions, that would only be the beginning. Without sunlight, plants immediately stop producing energy through photosynthesis. Forests, grasslands, and crops around the world enter survival mode. Although most plants wouldn't die instantly, they would no longer be able to create the energy needed to grow. The food chain has just received its first fatal blow. Solar power stations become useless. Entire countries that rely heavily on renewable solar energy suddenly lose a major source of electricity. Meanwhile, animals begin behaving strangely. Birds stop singing, insects disappear into hiding, nocturnal animals become confused, unable to understand why the night never ends. Humans are just as confused. People flood supermarkets, buying as much food and water as they can carry. Gas stations run out of fuel. Traffic fills every major highway. Rumors spread faster than facts. Some people believe the sun will return in a few hours. Others think humanity has only days left to live. The internet becomes overwhelmed with fear, conspiracy theories, and desperate questions. Families gather together. Parents try to comfort frightened children. Emergency broadcasts play continuously across television and radio stations. No one knows how long the darkness will last. But scientists already understand something terrifying. This isn't just a blackout. This isn't just another natural disaster. Without the sun, every hour that passes pushes Earth closer to becoming a frozen, lifeless world. And within just a few more days, The planet will begin changing in ways that no human civilization has ever witnessed. 24 hours have now passed. The sun has been gone for an entire day, and the earth is becoming colder with every passing hour. Across the world, temperatures continue to fall. Cities that were once full of life now sit beneath an endless sky of darkness. Streetlights remain on 24 hours a day. Power stations work without rest. But electricity grids begin to fail under the enormous demand. Rolling blackouts spread from city to city. One by one, entire regions disappear into complete darkness. For billions of people, the nightmare is only beginning. Without sunlight, the surface of the Earth keeps losing heat into space. Within just a few days, the average global temperature falls well below freezing. Lakes begin turning into ice. Small rivers stop flowing. Snow starts falling in places that have never seen snow before. Farmers quickly realize their crops are dying. Without sunlight, photosynthesis has completely stopped. Plants can no longer produce the energy they need to survive. Fields that once stretched for miles begin turning brown. Within weeks, much of the world's agriculture collapses. This creates another crisis. Food. Supermarket shelves become empty. Supply chains break down. Countries begin fighting over the resources they still have. Governments introduce emergency rationing. Every family receives only a limited amount of food. Fresh fruit and vegetables become almost impossible to find. Animals begin disappearing. Many species cannot survive the freezing temperatures. Others die because the plants they depend on have vanished. The food chain begins collapsing from the very bottom. The oceans are changing too. The upper layers of seawater slowly begin freezing. At first, it happens near the poles. But week after week, the ice spreads farther toward the equator. Fishing industries collapse. Millions of people lose one of their main food sources. Around the world, scientists search desperately for solutions. Could giant artificial lights replace the sun? Could underground cities keep humanity alive? Could nuclear power provide enough energy to save civilization? Every possible idea is discussed. But one terrifying reality becomes impossible to ignore. Nothing can truly replace the sun. It is not just our source of light. It is the engine that powers almost every form of life on Earth. Without it, humanity is living on borrowed time. And as the first month without the sun comes to an end, a terrifying new chapter is about to begin, because the atmosphere itself will start changing forever. 1 month has passed. The sun is still gone. By now, Earth has become almost unrecognizable. The average surface temperature continues to fall, reaching around -40 degrees Celsius, or -40 degrees Fahrenheit. For many parts of the world, simply stepping outside without protection would be deadly. Entire cities are now covered in snow and ice. Cars are buried beneath frozen streets. Airports have become silent. Highways are empty. The sounds of everyday life have completely disappeared. The oceans continue freezing from the surface downward. At first, only a thin layer of ice formed. Now that layer grows thicker every single day. Although the deepest parts of the oceans remain liquid for much longer because they store enormous amounts of heat, marine life begins to suffer. Tiny organisms that depend on sunlight disappear first. Without them, fish populations rapidly decline. Soon after, larger animals begin starving. Whales, dolphins, seals, and countless other species face extinction. The collapse of ocean ecosystems becomes one of the greatest biological disasters in Earth's history. On land, forests stand frozen in complete darkness. Without sunlight, trees stop growing. Leaves fall and never return. Grasslands become endless fields of ice. The beautiful green world that humanity once knew slowly fades away. But people refuse to give up. Across the globe, engineers and scientists begin building enormous underground shelters. Deep beneath the surface, geothermal heat provides one of the last natural sources of warmth. Nuclear reactors become humanity's greatest hope. Inside underground cities, artificial lights replace the sun. Hydroponic farms grow vegetables under powerful LED lamps. Every drop of water is recycled. Every degree of heat is carefully protected. Life becomes completely different. Children born underground grow up without ever seeing daylight. Stories about blue skies, sunshine, beaches, forests, and colorful sunsets begin to sound like fairy tales. To them, the world has always been dark, always cold, always silent, but despite all these efforts, scientists calculate that the planet is still cooling, and they know something terrifying. If the sun never returns, even the strongest underground shelters may only delay the inevitable, because the longer Earth remains frozen, the harder survival becomes. And yet, the greatest challenge is still waiting, not beneath our feet, but high above us, in the sky itself. Years pass, the sun never returns, the Earth has become a frozen world drifting silently through space. From orbit, our planet no longer looks like the vibrant blue world we once called home. Instead, it appears as a giant white sphere, covered by endless ice and darkness. The oceans are hidden beneath kilometers of frozen ice. Entire continents have disappeared under snow. The cities that once glowed with millions of lights are now silent monuments to a civilization that almost vanished. If humanity still exists, it survives only because of technology. Deep underground, protected from the deadly cold, small communities continue fighting for another day. Every meal is carefully rationed. Every source of energy is precious. Every child grows up hearing stories about a bright object called the sun. To them, blue skies are nothing more than legends. Birds, forests, beaches, and warm summer days belong to a forgotten past. But there is one thing that still gives scientists hope. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, our planet remains incredibly hot. The Earth's core continues producing heat. That geothermal energy could keep underground cities alive for thousands, perhaps even millions of years. Humanity might survive, not on the surface, but beneath it, and maybe that's what makes humans so extraordinary. Throughout history, we have survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, powerful earthquakes, global pandemics, and countless other disasters. Our greatest strength has never been our size or our speed. It has always been our ability to adapt. Thankfully, this terrifying scenario is almost impossible. According to everything modern science understands, the sun cannot simply disappear without warning. It is expected to continue shining for around 5 billion more years. That means every sunrise you see, every warm summer afternoon, every sunrise over the ocean, and every sunset painted across the sky, is part of an incredible cosmic balance that makes life on Earth possible. Sometimes we forget how extraordinary our world really is. Because the most important things in life happen every single day. The sun rises, the Earth keeps turning, life continues, and we rarely stop to appreciate just how fragile that miracle truly is. So the next time you feel the warmth of sunlight on your face, take a moment to remember, without it, none of us would be here. If you enjoyed exploring this incredible scientific scenario, be sure to subscribe for more fascinating, what-if journeys. Because here, every question changes everything.